Chandra, so final question. So we talked about zero trust. We talked about tools rationalization. We talked about integration among the various tools, right? Um, Threat intelligence, AI, ML. We talked about multiple things like that, right? My final question to you is around, more of a role play question, and you being an advisor. If I am a CIO or a CISO who's very serious about making investments, obviously value driven investments, which are directly impacting and reducing risk for my organization, what are those 5 to 10 or however number you want to pick, advices you would give? What are those 5 to 10 things I should do or plan for next 3 to 6 months type of time frame, so that the investments are really worth reducing the risk? What is your actionable advice for that?
Yeah, that's a great question. And this is my thought. I'm pretty sure different people have a different thought in there. But for any organization, for the CIO or CISO, their decision should be that, okay, I want to have hygiene, which is a good hygiene in there. That's right. Because if you have a bad hygiene, that's kind of like best thing first you can do is start with the hygiene. You don't have to have a perfect hygiene, but you have to have a hygiene. So basically what does it mean is your gateways, whether it's your firewall, identity, or your AV, if you have it in there, proxy and all that, they have to be in place and they have to be functional and have been updated or getting updated. So they have updated with their new set of with the new set of the software releases and all that. Then the next thing, which is pretty important for any organization, a CISO or CIO should look and say that, okay, what are all the set of the asset application services I have in my organization? And that can be human, it can be any of the devices, any applications I have, and who is using that, how they are getting used and all that. Because if I don't have that, a way of looking into all of my assets and their interactions and how they are being used and all that in there. So you got to have a solution where you are able to visualize everything. You have to have a complete visibility when they are being used, who's using it, how much is being used and all that in there. That is really critical. Then also one of the other thing is okay, I have those things in there, or they are kind of in a good shape. You can never be perfect into somebody will say, oh, I have this vulnerability. That vulnerability is as good as it is. Even if you're trying to be the best, it is as good as you have kind of found out or have been already disclosed. There is many things which you don't know about it and can be exploited as well. That's right. So that's something you want to kind of so you know your assets. And now you have to have a capability to monitor each of those things in the real time. And then same time, now you want to have a solution which is able to proactively detect misuse of any one of those kind of whether it's identity or the applications or services or anything horizontally happening in your environment. You are able to put it all together and detect something unusual or something bad happening in there. And then once you detect something, you got to have a solution to go and address those. And those addressing means whether I have to address it inside my environment or I have to address it my gateways or identity. That should not be multi days operation. That should be something, if I see a critical issue in there, I should have a control over it to go and address it within kind of real time, if not real time in few minutes. It should not go beyond hours that, hey, it's in hours I'm waiting for the things to happen and all that in there. That's right. And those decisions can be only happening into the short period of time once you have a confidence and have a complete visibility of your environment and knowing what are the impact of which of the services, applications, processes, my critical assets are, Otherwise, you will be afraid of taking a decisions. And that's where basically people have these breaches happen, and they are kind of like left speechless or left kind of dumbfounded that, hey, this thing happened. And we were not able to do something about it because we knew something bad was going on, but they cannot see exactly what it was, So those are the things is like, so my point of view is like hygiene. Then you have to have a kind of real-time monitoring, know all of things in your environment. With the detections, detect the things in the context and situations, knowing your environment very well with the comprehensive visibility. And then with that confidence, you are able to take actions on the timely basis. If you are not able to do that, then no matter how much you spend, whatever you do in there, if you are not able to come with the actionable intelligence and take the actions, then still you are too far behind in your maturity cycle. And that's something is like you have to address.
All right. Wonderful, Chandra. Thank you so much. This was a great response, great answer. And again, thanks for sharing your ideas, your thoughts on some of these questions. Great conversation. Thank you. And I hope people listening can take away some of those actionable ideas and thoughts from this session. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Saurabh. Thank you for giving me opportunity to answer some of your very thoughtful questions, which are pretty hard for anybody in the industry right now, Thank you so much.